Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Kuratu Aini binti Muhammad Sapwan, and I will be presenting my part, which is Jihad fi Sabilillah or Jihad in Islam by Sayyid Abul ala Mawdudi. The reason why he wrote this book is because there seems to be this misconception in the current world that Islam promotes war, and the term jihad is being used for this said war. And he wants to justify that jihad is not merely just war. There are many aspects and factors that contributes to jihad. So the misconceptions of jihad is that the current world looks at the term jihad from the Western sense. In Islam, deen is not merely a religion but a way of life. And also, we look at the term nation in the Western sense. The technical term of a group of people with homogeneous views, and they create their own laws and a form of justice from their own homogeneous view. But in Islam, we take into consideration everyone's views and rights, whether it is a Muslim or a non-Muslim. Next, we will be looking into what jihad really is. So jihad does not directly translates to the term war, because war is harb in Arabic. So harb is not favorable. The term jihad is favorable, which is struggle. So in this case, is the struggle in the way of Allah. So in the ideological standpoint of Islam is that it aims to bring down any tyrannical power, so that we follow Islam, which brings justice and fairness to the people. Jihad fi Sabilillah literally translates to the struggle in the way of Allah. But some mistook it as Muslims using force to convert non-Muslims to Islam, when in actuality it's just an act or deed done for the well-being of mankind. For example, when you give charity, you should not feel like you are expected to gain anything from giving away your certain portion of your wealth, and that is in itself is jihad, because it is for in the way of Allah. But if we actually expect something in return, that is not jihad. And also in the case of using force, which comes to any reformation or any revolutionary movement, it must conform to the teachings of Islam, and it should not have any selfish motivation of the person trying to bring down that tyrannical power, and we only have to do it in the favor of Allah and not any other human beings. And also there's this hadith which said that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that if a man engaged in battle entertains in his heart to gain merely a piece of rope to tie his camel, then his reward for fighting in jihad will be forfeited, because Allah only accept deeds who are done purely for the sake of Allah. Also, we need to look into the revolutionary creed of Islam, the objective of jihad. So Allah summons everyone to worship Him, and that no man is superior than the other. And also, even Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself establishes a society by not conforming to social class. Well, Islam is not merely a religion, because it is a way of life. That's why we should revolutionize the way of Islam. Islam wants a world revolution, because we are not in favor of the un-Islamic system, which can be maybe forced upon. We may feel uncomfortable with it at first, but when we are under the system, we might grow to favor that unjust system, which creates a very destructive society. And Islam aims to revolutionize this universally, because no ideology has created any principles of warfare that is wholly humane, and Islam promotes just that. So why not share it to the entire world? For example, Prophet ﷺ also did the same for Arabia, which the first country to be subjugated. But later, Prophet ﷺ invited the other surrounding state to accept the faith. And also, there's the term offensive and defensive. The division of the word is not relevant to the Islamic warfare. Offensive for Muslim party attacks the rule of the opposing ideology, and then for defensive, Muslim party captures the state power to protect the principle. In Islam, it combines both, but in the Western sense, they divided the term itself. And also, the objective of warfare is not to attack, it's to abolish the government that sustains them, which is harmful to the society. For the status of the zimmis, the non-believers under Islam, their rights are being protected, because Islamic Jihad does not interfere with people's faith, ideology, rituals, or worship, or even social custom. And the Ummah of Islam, when they seizes the power, they will outlaw usury, interest, prohibits gambling, and then any business or financial dealings must follow the Islamic law. And any brothels to be shut down, and then censorship on film industries. So why they enforce this is because all these are harmful to ourselves. So why not abolish it? And then we come to the imperialism versus Islam. So when Muslims win war and government is established, it's forbidden for Muslims to use any tyrannical power previously inflicted towards the people. So the government must follow the teachings of Quran and Sunnah, so that they cannot establish their own personal gain, because it's based on Quran and Sunnah. And the duty of the head of the state is not easy at all, because he has to sacrifice most of his personal interests for the betterment of the society. And the salary of Muslim head of state itself, it is forbidden for them to take half a penny more than necessary for a Muslim's average means to live on. Lastly, we will look into the differences in the system of government for the Islamic and non-Islamic system of government. So the Islamic system of government puts the people first, and wealth is distributed towards the prosperity of the state. Non-Islamic system of government, most of the ruling class has divine powers, and that the laymen had to give their wealth to the rich and the ruling class. And they also might exploit the resources for their own personal gain, which should be towards the betterment of people. And then wealth made by the state is used for personal gain. In conclusion, the misconception of jihad is that it is a violent war created by Islam to force non-believers, when in fact it is the opposite of that. Jihad is promoted in Islam to create a more just society based on the ideal teachings of Islam. That is all from me. Thank you.